Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, are you kind of getting a lot of mixed messages out there from anybody in charge of cruising? So first off, let's talk about the quiet cruise lines, Carnival Cruise Lines. We don't want to leave American ports. We're not going to leave American ports. We're an American cruise company, but we will if we have to. Okay, how long does that take? How long does that mean? We don't know. Then we had the mayor in Alaska come out and said that her meeting with the CEO was basically useless. The CDC was basically useless, that they really had no idea about cruising or any ideas for cruising. Those were her exact words. Then we have Frank Del Rio from Norwegian Cruise Lines coming out and say, CDC, can you please just answer my letter that I sent you and explain to me what's wrong with our framework for sailing that basically they've come up with the Healthy Sail Panel and all their protocols in place, and they're going to require vaccines and all that stuff. Please at least answer us. But all the politicians out there and all the people reaching out have all said that whenever they reach out to the CDC, they're really not getting anything back. It's taking forever to get anything back, and of course that's been the problem since day one. Great. But then we had Richard Fain, who did an announcement to all the travel agents, which he quite often does. In fact, he quite often does it almost on a weekly basis some months. And he had the big cheery talk that got a lot of people excited again, saying that, there's good dialogue with this administration of the CDC, not the government, the administration of the CDC, and that things are progressing, and we should never second guess the CDC's decision making. They are saying that perhaps by midsummer, and that's what we think is a good timeline too. But they say by midsummer only after you finish all the hoops that they have. You haven't finished 2A of the framework for sailing yet. You haven't gotten ready to do the test cruises. You haven't submitted for test cruises. You haven't done any of that. And by the time you submit that to a test cruise, it's another 30 days. So if you're following that framework, you're not going to be sailing this summer because the timeline just isn't there. We're already into almost May. So if we go from May, 30 days, now we're into June. Now you have to do your test cruises, submit that, apply that, and get 2B things done. You're easily talking August, September at the very, very earliest, possible earliest, if you're following the framework for sailing. And nothing from Richard's speech, and I know he's trying to walk that fine line, and he doesn't want to spread panic in the cruise line industry, for his company about, we're not going to be able to sail from the U.S. We're going to have to shut everything down, and everyone's going to cancel their cruises and all this other stuff. So if you're that sure that they're, midsummer, we're going to be sailing out of U.S. ports, why have we been setting up cruises in the Caribbean? Why are we going through that expense and that redistribution and canceling cruises to redo those and making it harder for our guests to get to a location where they can sail? And the simple answer is they don't know. They don't know how the CDC is going to go. Right now, vaccinations are going really, really well, but that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. They are treating cruise lines different than they're treating every other business. And until they change that mindset, it's going to be much, much harder for the cruise lines to start and open, according to the CDC. Their framework. As cheerful as Richard Fain seems to be in his conferences to myself and other travel agents, and we see it on YouTube and everyone's watched it, really look into all that and actually look for a time where he actually says, I'm positive there's going to be cruises this summer, because he doesn't. And he can't. Because in all honesty, no one knows what's happening right now. Absolutely no one. There was talks a week ago that came out of the CDC that they had talks, but has anyone heard that they're getting ready to send in applications for test cruises? Has anyone been contacted to be a volunteer on a test cruise? Has any of that happened? Unless the CDC absolutely changes their framework and changes their opinion and their mind, all the positive speeches in the world aren't going to do anything. And I'm afraid I couldn't read too much positivity, but it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear some positive news. And I can't wait till we're cruising. Here we go. That's the news I want to bring to you. And we'll have a party when it does happen. But right now, I didn't see too much to get excited about from Richard Fain's speech. In fact, I see more people commenting from other CEOs and that things aren't going well than say are going well. And that is a big problem for cruising. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.